The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. Hey guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Had Rean Schwarzer's Powers. This is part 3. In the last part, Izuku was met with All Might and also saved Bakugo, with All Might acknowledging Izuku as a true hero and soon plans on training him to be his successor. With that said, let's get into this, guys. After that little heartfelt moment, Izuku is glad to hear that All Might told him that he could be a hero, and is truly ready to train to go to UA. As All Might tells him, if you're going to go to UA, you don't mind if I help you out? Or matter of fact, I'm actually being a teacher there, and I want to give you more of an edge in the entrance exam. After that, Izuku was grateful to hear him wanting to help him out, and was gladly wanted to take it. After that, but he also wanted to ask if he could invite him Fred to help out as well, to train with. After that, All Might asks, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I want to train you myself. The reason being, I want you to be my successor, young Midoriya." And as Izuku hears this, he says, "Your successor? You mean like the next symbol of peace?" As he says, yes and no. I want you to be the successor of my quirk." As Izuku begins getting more and more confused, thinking, wait, your quirk? But that's impossible. You can't give a person your quirk. As All Might begins explaining the story of One for All, that his quirk was given to him by his predecessor, Nana Shimura, and she gave it, and since she was the previous owner, he hit One for All is now truly strong, and he wishes to give it to him as his successor. As Izuku is truly honored for this, but he would feel like he doesn't deserve a quirk like this, that it's too powerful, and especially with his wildfire quirk in general. As All Might tells him, "Please, young Midoriya, I've never seen somebody who's truly as heroic as you. I know you are the only person I can think of who deserves his quirk more than anyone else." After that, Izuku just couldn't say no and decides to be All Might's successor. But he also promised Bakugo that he would train with him as well. So, Izuku decided to make a schedule. He would spend the weekdays training with All Might, and he would spend the weekends training with Bakugo. With them training on the weekdays, Bakugo would learn some new skills and strength of his own quirk in his own way, while Izuku trains with All Might, it being ready for One for All. On weekends, the two of them would spar one-on-one to see how much they've grown, and see how much they need to improve themselves as well. But through this training, they would grow a lot more stronger than they normally would in canon. If anything, they would probably reach to almost the same level as they would in the practical licensing exam during this time. So yeah, I think everything. So yeah, both Izuku and Bakugo would be way much stronger than they would in the original canon timeline. While training with All Might wanted to help Izuku gain a more stronger body to inherit One for All, until he realized that Izuku was already pretty strong. And not only that, he already knew that he was pretty damn fast. even without using his quirk, as he begins being curious on how is he this fast, and not only that, he's really good with a sword, as it almost reminded him of a certain old man. As Izuku explained that he trained with Master Kaifa throughout his entire childhood, as All Might realized, Kaifa, you mean 8 leaves? Huh, I haven't seen that old man in so many years. As Izuku saying, he took a retirement when he told me, and he now travels the world, training himself and others in the way of his own personal swordsmanship fighting style, the eight leaves, one blade style. As All Might says, and this makes things a lot more easier. As they go on and basically clean Dagobah Beach, just like in canon, it takes at least less time, especially since Izuku uses his wind sword and his quirk to burn down the garbage pretty easily, basically turning all of it into ash, mostly stuff he knows he can't fully lift, all by hand. Over that, not only that, on weekdays when he trains with Bakugo, they do one-on-one sparring, seeing how much they've grown. Bakugo allows Izuku to use his sword, of course. He doesn't want him holding back. However, that's exactly what he gets, though. Mostly because he wants Izuku to always use his wild side and get used to using it more. As Izuku keeps saying that he can't and that he won't hurt his best friend. As Bakugo tells him, you think I can't take it? You really think I'm weak? You think I can't beat you in that form, you bastard? As Izuku says, no, that's not what I meant. I just don't want to. As after that, Bakugo gets pissed and just leaves, saying, not in the mood to train anymore. See you next week. After that, Izuku gets a little bit depressed and sad. Maybe he should stop being afraid of what would happen if he hurts somebody closest to him, and figure out a way to control it. And soon after that, another week, 3 months have gone by, and Izuku is almost close to clearing all of Dagobah Beach, which he does pretty well, actually. Soon after, All Might is impressed seeing Izuku getting this done pretty quickly, which he thought it would take him at least longer, believing maybe he's a lot more ready for one for all than expected. As Izuku begins training, however, he wants to test him in combat, see how strong he is, as Izuku is honored to be fighting against All Might one-on-one. After that, All Might goes into his buff form and prepares the ready to take on Izuku in one-on-one combat, with Izuku sheathing his sword and screaming, "Arc Slash!" with All Might dodging it pretty easily, and thinking that he needs to try better than that, as Izuku is already in front of him and was about to hit him with his wind sword when All Might catches it with one hand. As Izuku is surprised, thinking, how the hell did you? As All Might says, haha, you may have a speed advantage, but you don't have the strength advantage. And not only that, I've dealt with opponents who would seem way faster than you think. Not only that, All Might throws Izuku almost to the other side on where he was already at, as Izuku realized that he needs to give it everything he's got, and does as much as he can. He increases his speed once more, and decides to use 8 leaves, 1 blade style. Second form, Gale! He moves faster than he originally did when he tried to attack All Might. And this time, All Might was too slow to catch this, and was hit by his sword, to the gut, but didn't really do much damage, of course. As All Might saying, "Not bad, not bad, young Midoriya. Your speed is quite impressive. It's almost a par with One for All." As All Might begins thinking how fast Izuku could get once he gets One for All. As Izuku says, "Come on, All Might, let's give it everything. Give me everything you got." 6 months of this goes by. Izuku still trains with Bakugo, as Bakugo is already accepted that Izuku will not use his wild side on him, and accepts that, but he doesn't accept that that his best friend is still holding himself back than anything else. After that, as far as training with All Might, Dagobah Beach is cleared, and he's gained a lot, and he's got a lot more stronger, both physically and more powerful with his quirk as well. As All Might says, "You are ready, young Midoriya, to inherit my quirk. This is One for All." As Izuku is really prepared, ready for something awesome to happen. As All Might plucks a hair from his head and says, "Here, eat this." As Izuku makes the most weirdest ass face and says, "What?" And then says, "You have to inherit my quirk, you have to ingest my DNA. And this is the best way you're going to get it, after all." As Izuku saying, "Okay, I get it, but this is just so weird." After that, Izuku's All Might saying, "Oh, don't be afraid, trust me." After that, soon after, Izuku digests All Might's hair. A couple months have gone by, and more months go by, and it's time for the UA entrance exam. As both Izuku and Bakugo arrive at the same time, since they were walking together. As they says, "Well, this is the day we've been preparing for so long, right, Kachan?" As he says, "I was ready for this since the day I was born." As he tells him, "You better not hold anything back in this exam, Izuku. I wouldn't want it to be boring if my best friend wasn't there with me." As Izuku saying, "Don't worry, I got this. I'm prepared and ready." At that, Bakugo saw that, "You're not using your wooden sword? Where'd you get that thing?" And Izuku showed him his new sword and tells him that it was a gift from his master, Kaifa. And a month ago, he came home right after school and saw a package for him nearing his door, sent almost from another country, and soon a letter saying from Master Kaifa, telling Izuku, over time I was trying to find material strong enough to hold your flames. I know that wooden sword that I gave you all those years ago maybe gives you some damage and may not be strong enough to hold your flames anymore. So I made you a custom-made Itachi that's strong enough to hold your made out of materials and metals. That's strong enough to hold your flames into the blade. So give it everything you got, my student. Show the world that you can be a hero. I look forward to seeing you debut one day." After that, Izuku soon cries, and even though Kaifa can't hear it, he says, "Thank you, Master. Thank you so much." And ended the flashback as Bakugo saying, "I guess that makes sense. You're gonna need all the help you can get, after all." After that, the two head into the entrance hall, where they're met with, President Mike, just like in canon, as Izuku begins fanboying like crazy seeing President Mike there. As he says, "You damn nerd." President Mike soon gives up the same explanation that he did like in canon about the exam and about the practical exam, them fighting against robots, and each robot has a point system, being from 1 point, 2 points, and 3 points. Soon after, Izuku begins muttering, thinking on the best solution on how to take care of these robots, but also believes that there might be something more to this than just taking on villain robots instead. As Bakugo realized, maybe you're onto something, but also realized that the two of them are in different areas, that they won't be fighting alongside one another. After that, soon after, they see a blue-haired boy with glasses raise his hand up and ask about the fourth robot, being the 0 point, wondering if this is a misunderstanding or an error. It should be against a prestige school like this to mess up. After that, he points at Izuku and says, You have been muttering this entire time. If you're not going to take this seriously, then leave." After that, Izuku feels a little bit down as Bakugo saying, "Hey, why don't you shut up? What makes you think he's not taking this seriously, you bastard?" And that Izuku tells Bakugo, "Gachan, please don't make a scene here, man. It's okay." After that, President Mike says, "Alright now, settle down," as he tells him that the 0 point robot is more of an obstacle, not a target, so make sure to avoid it than anything. After hearing that, Ida is satisfied and sits back down. After that, they begin taking the written exam, and Bakugo and Izuku does pretty well. As for the physical exam, they're ready to leave, as the two give each other a fist bump for good luck, as Izuku is ready to take on this exam. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry to stop it right here, but I know I'm trying to see about cliffhangers kind of thing. And I know it may seem a little bit annoying, but I'm sorry guys. Hope you enjoy. Please like, comment, and subscribe, which helps out my channel a lot. With that said, this is Mooky signing out. Later.